slithers into the jungle, call it python time. Bold constriction got them wrapped, they entwine. Educational bites, better sharpen your mind. Lens focus tight, capture moments in time. Scales gleaming under lights, stay exotic and rare from the...
Ooh, this video I did not plan on making. I did not want to make, but... And I never thought this day would come so fast, but I have to. Gotta rip the band-aid off. Last Sunday, I lost Jimmy. He died, passed away suddenly. Crazy, but yeah. I'm on my way to the Memphis Zoo, so I get some steps in and use up this membership as much as possible before it expires at the end of the month. But because I'm not sure, I'm still contemplating whether I'm going to renew the membership, especially with finances and stuff. But yeah, so come with me to the Memphis Zoo. We're going to walk and talk, and I'm going to explain what happened to Jimmy, and what we are going to do moving forward. So, yeah, let's get it. Let's go. Y'all, it is 20-some degrees outside. Like, woo. I got to get these steps in, so I'm still going to walk around the zoo, but it's cold as hell. So, if my lips end up being white throughout this video, it's because the wind and the cold is strong, and my dry lips can't do it. And so, but anyways, I've already did a pet tag video explaining the history of Jimmy, how Jimmy came to be my pet, but I will reiterate certain things for this video, just in case you didn't watch that video, and just in case anybody new to the channel, because I have been getting some new subscribers, don't know. So, I didn't have Jimmy his whole life. I got Jimmy in 2020, and he was like 10 or 11 years old. And so he passed away at the age of 16. Estimate based off of me and my mentors of his age at the time. So basically, long story short, Jimmy was a rescue animal. My mentors, and I will post pictures that they sent me back when they first gave him to me, of the day that they rescued him. They saved him from this individual who wasn't taking good care of him, had him malnourished. They found him on Craigslist, I believe, a Craigslist ad, and they saw pictures of him emaciated, like near death, and they were like, they contacted folks, was like, yo, we're coming to get that snake. That snake is being abused. That snake is about to die. We're coming to get it. So that person surrendered the animal to them, and they saved him, got him back healthy, got him at a great weight, and they cared for him for almost damn near 10 years, until they had to move. And so when they moved, they had a whole collection, boas, ball pythons, reticulated pythons, stuff like that. And so they had to pick and choose what animals that they were going to rehome and what animals that they were going to take with them. And so they called me, and Kathy, she called me, and she was like, yo, I know you do educational shows and photo shoot stuff. I have a snake that I think would be perfect for, because he's super friendly, super sweet, has a perfect disposition, like not aggressive at all, not defensive. I think you will love him. His name is Slim Jim. That was what they called him because of how small he was. And again, I'll insert pictures of him the day that they rescued him and got him from the previous owner. And the rest was history. I got him December of 2020, and the rest was history. And Jimmy has been like almost damn near, besides Jafar, almost damn near the face of Creative Reptiles. So many photo shoots, so many music videos, prom send-offs, educational shows. We visited schools in Nashville, schools around Memphis, summer camps, vacation Bible school, stuff like that, just educating people on reptiles, educating people on snakes. Jimmy has been that dude, to the point to where people who see me in public, they will ask, how the snakes, how's Jimmy doing? And they specifically remember him. Even this past weekend at Memphis Monster Con, people who was there last year came and asked about Jimmy this year, and of course I had to break the news to him that he passed. But everybody was like, oh my gosh, he was such an amazing animal, he was such an amazing snake. I was afraid of snakes before I met him and before I held him. And so I got countless of stories of that, and that really lifted my spirits, because when he died, when he passed away Sunday, like, I was messed up. I was emotionally, everything. I was fucked up. I barely ate that last week. Like, missed the gym a couple of times. I was just not there. I don't know how I survived or work, because I was sad. I was grieving. I always say all the time, Jafar is my best friend. He's my first snake. He's my favorite. He's the best in my collection. Jimmy was a close second. Jimmy was also my best friend. That snake was amazing. I tell people all the time, I will put him down, whether we're outside or in the house. I will put him down, let him roam, let him get some enrichment, let him stretch out, climb on things. If I walk away, he follows me. He literally follows me wherever I go, like a dog. Like, when I leave the house, like when I wake up in the morning, because one thing about Jimmy's cage is like it's in the living room right by the front door. So before I leave, I always say good morning. And by that time, he's about to go to bed. All the snakes are about to wind down, go to bed, because snakes, they sleep during the day and they're up at night. But when I come home from work, he pokes his head out his hide. He has a giant hide that he sleeps in. He pokes his head out his hide, look at me. Sometimes he'll crawl out and come out. Sometimes he'll just sit there and just look for a little bit and then go back to sleep. But it was just a routine we always did. Even the day that he passed, that Sunday, I had to run some errands. I had to do some stuff. So I was gone most of the morning. And when I came back home and I opened the door and I was like, hey, children, or whatever, I always greet them every time. I'd be like, good morning, children. Good evening, children. I'm back. I always say stuff like that. It's just a habit that I've been doing for so long. And when I did, Jimmy came out of his enclosure, out his hide, poked his head out, crawled out, looked at me. He periscoped, looked at me. I was like, hey, Jimmy, how you doing, baby? Now, as a disclaimer, I know something fishy was going on with Jimmy a couple of days before, because one, now this is normal for him. He always releases sperm plugs and things like that, but this time he released a lot of extra liquid that did not seem right. And at first, I text pictures to Kathy and I was like, this looks weird. It's a lot. It was a lot than just his normal sperm plugs. Because, when males smell females and they think they want to breed, they scent the place. And so this just seemed like a whole lot to be just simple sperm plugs. Or him trying to muss the cage because he's in breeding mode. And we was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. And Kathy was like, it could be mucus, have you checked him for RI and stuff? So one thing about Jimmy as a boa, he was a gentle giant. Nothing fazed him. He actually let me get a hook, his snake hook, and pry his mouth open so I can examine him. And see, do I see signs of RI? No signs of RI. His nose was dry. Like, and I've witnessed RI with snakes, because Coils had it a couple of years back. And we cleared it up, no problem. And so I know what RI is. I've experienced it before, in the past, and had to treat it before. So I'm checking the nose, checking the mouth, checking everything. It wasn't coming from his mouth. This liquid was coming from his backside. And it was every time he peed. And so me and Kathy was like, okay, you need to take him to the vet. And I was like, I agree. So I set an appointment to take him to a vet that following Thursday, because that was like the earliest they could take him in. And he passed away that Sunday before. So everything happened so fast in the blink of an eye. It wasn't like some slow, gradual. And that happens with snakes. Snakes are the type of animals that they don't show symptoms or signs of anything for a long time before it's too late, especially boa constrictors. And yes, we've ruled out IDB. He wasn't showing none of those signs. It was just like if he peed a lot, and he released a lot of sperm plugs and other fluids that was weird. That just wasn't normal than what he normally did when he was trying to muss because he thought a female was around. Like, it was just weird. And then I did offer him food just to see, because, you know, they say a sign that a boa is sick. Offered him some food. I think I offered him food. He passed away Sunday. I offered him food Friday night. And he didn't take it. Like, he didn't even react like he normally reacts when I thaw rats out, because I was feeding the rest of the collection too. So when I was thawing rats out, usually when I thaw rats out, Jimmy is out his hide, he is roaming his cage, he is looking around. He didn't do none of this shit. So that was also a telltale sign that something was not right. And so I was just like, Jimmy, if you could just hold on till I get you to the vet so we can see what's going on. And he didn't wait. He was like, I'm ready to go. And quite frankly, whether I'm delusional or not, I really felt like that Sunday when I came home from running errands, going to the grocery store and things like that, he was saying goodbye. He came out typical, like he normally do, normal routine. He came out his hide. He came to the front of the cage, looked at me, periscoped, and we doing our little greeting. I was like, hey, Jimmy, baby. Hey, my baby. And I was like, because I knew I was cleaning the collection, spot cleaning and giving waters that day. So I was like, you know, because I fed that Friday, and I know, you know, just double checking just in case, especially the hatchling ball pythons, who pooped, who didn't, stuff like that. So I was like, I'm going to start cleaning. I'll be back. So I went to my room to clean the hatchlings that were in there, clean, you know, the bloods. I got the short tails in there, and I got Oya, my Kazi, Dinker in there in my bedroom while all the other snakes are in the living room. And so I went and handled all that, spot clean, changed waters to those who need it and stuff like that. And as soon as I got through with them, I went to the living room, and that's when I saw that he was gone. And a part of me felt like he came out just to say goodbye, honestly. Oh, I'm gonna try not to cry. That was tough. And a part of my brain, when I saw his body in the cage, you know, turned over, flipped up. You know a dead body. You know it when an animal dies. I don't have to get all graphic, but when I saw his body, I stepped out. Now, the way the house is, I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment that my grandfather built many, many years ago, back in the 80s. But it's still attached to the house that my parents live in. So I went to the big house. I left my apartment, went into the big house so I could just take a breath. And I started to cry. And of course, my dad and nieces were up there, and I let them know, you know, Jimmy's gone. And they were like, we're so sorry. And everything was good. Everything was good. I was like, I just need to take a breath. I just need to take a breather. Let it out. So I cried. And then I was like, okay, I got to toughen up. Got to put on my big boy pants. Get a trash bag to get them out. Because I knew for a fact that I can't just bury him in the backyard. I mean, I could. We got a lot of land. But I wanted to cremate him. And so I was like, well, I got to get his body and put him in the freezer until I could take him to get cremated. There's a pet cemetery. It's like 15 minutes from our house that could do the service, that could cremate him for me and give me the ashes and stuff. And so I was like, I just got to put him in the freezer to preserve his body. So after I cried for about, who knows how long, probably an hour, I went back to the apartment with a trash bag and I opened the cage. And I lost it. I literally fell to the floor and broke down to the point that my dad came down and held me. And he was like, give me the hook. I'll do it. And my dad, mind you, my dad does not like animals. He does not like snakes. He doesn't come in my apartment at all. He does not do reptiles. He does not do any animals, but he definitely don't do reptiles. But he saw how fucked up I was, and he grabbed the trash bag, got the hook, got Jimmy out, bagged him up, tied it up, and put him in the freezer. And once he did all, and I'm so grateful that my dad was there to do that, but I really thought I was okay and I would be able to tell the story without crying, but anyways, yeah, after he did all that, I knew I had to clean his cage, like deep clean, sanitize, water ball, that shit. My dad said, nah, close it, come back upstairs to the house and just take your time. And that's what I did. I went back to the big house. My dad was in the living room watching football. I sat there in the living room with him and I cried. I cried, but I was happy. I had my family there. My nieces saw how messed up I was. And they felt bad, but everybody, my whole family, like, had my back. They let me grieve. They let me get it all out. And then eventually, before I went to bed that night, I was able to gather the strength to go and deep clean his entire cage. I bleached it, sanitized it, because one, his dead body was in there, and two, who knows what bacteria or whatever, all that jazz. So I deep cleaned his cage, and honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that cage. I don't know if I'm gonna sell it and get some money off of it, or if I'm gonna keep it and maybe let that be like a grow out cage for either Gamora, my baby Burmese, or Juju the retic. I'm not sure yet. It's still just sitting there by the front door where it's always been. I did cut it off. I cut off the heat source and everything because it's pointless for it to be on, but it just hurts. It hurts. And for the first 2 or 3 days, when I had to go to work the next day, could not take off. I mean, I could. I have enough sick days to be off work for like 2 months, honestly. I've accumulated so much. But I did not want to do that. I did not want to sit at the house depressed and sad. So I went on here, went to work. Work was good, you know. Luckily, I have amazing co-workers, and my students, they love talking to me about my snakes. They love asking a million questions about my snakes. And that day, I don't know what's going on, but that day they had a lot of reptile questions. And so, surprisingly, that did not send me to an emotional wreck. Like, I was able to have conversations with my kids about pythons and boas and stuff like that. And they asked me a million questions, and it was like, when you bringing the snakes back? And I was like, well, it's starting to get a little cold now. So in the springtime, you know, before school's out, like, if we have our, you know, end of the school year festival that we always do, I'll bring the snakes for y'all to see again, like I did last year, like I do every year. And they were like, yay, we can't wait, we go. So it was a lot. I feel like that was God or the universe trying to cheer me up, because the kids had no idea that Jimmy died. Like, I didn't announce nobody, but they immediately, like one student immediately came in, was like, good morning, you know, yada yada yada. Guess what I did this weekend? What did you do this weekend? I was like, oh, I just stayed home and relaxed. You know, kids always want to know what's going on with their teachers when they're not at school. And I was like, oh, I just stayed at the house, yada yada. You know, I didn't tell them anything. And they was like, did you play with your snakes? Did you hang out with your snakes? And I was like, yeah, I did. And you know, that's when they started interviewing me about my animals. And I'm not gonna lie, that did help me a little bit. But so work was fine. I was good at work, but going home every day after that, it took, like I'm sitting in this car vlogging with y'all, I would sit in my car and just either listen to music or watch YouTube videos, because I could not physically walk in that house and see that cage at that door. I just couldn't. Jimmy was the first thing I saw every day coming home from work. He was the first one I saw. Him and Morticia are right there at the front door. I have them, even though I have majority of my collection in the living room of my apartment, Morticia and Jimmy were stacked on one on top of the other, away from all the ball pythons, because you know the whole IBD stuff, you know, germs and cross-contamination. So the boas always had their own side of the living room by themselves, and the ball pythons had the other side. And I never cross-contaminated anything. Jimmy and Morticia had their own hooks. They had their own feeding tongues. I fed them on different days than the ball pythons. I cleaned them on different days than the ball pythons. I did not play when it came to cross-contamination, germs, sanitation, stuff like that. That's just always been my thing, because it's always been a big fear of mine. And that's why I know IDB was not one, because he never did any of the signs like stargazing and shit like that, or any of, but, and then two, when I was double checking to make sure it wasn't RI, respiratory and stuff, him and Morticia are right on top of each other. They're right in this, you know, right in the same vicinity, and they're both attached to the same thermostats. Heat, you know, their heat source was connected to the same thermostat. I used my temp gun. Temperatures were perfect. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Nothing was different. So what I say all that to say that after speaking with my mentor, Kathy, who was the one who rescued Jimmy in the first place from near death many years ago and gave him to me, she was like, the way he was, as emaciated and fucked up and near death as he was when we rescued him, there's no telling, because the previous owners practically starved him to death, almost. And she was like, who knows what damage that did to him in the long term, to his internal organs. And we're just blessed and lucky and that he made it to age 16. He made it to 16 years old, because we all know snakes can live 20, 25, 30. Hell, the ball python at the St. Louis Zoo or Kansas City Zoo, I think it's Kansas City Zoo, damn near 60 years old. We know they can live a long time, but because of how fucked up he was before he was rescued, there's no telling the damage that we could never prevent. There's no telling how his internal organs were. And, you know, so it could have been anything that took him out. Old age, just the circle of life, no pun intended to Kathy's business. That's the name, Circle of Life. But it's just, I don't know. I miss him. I miss him so much. That was literally my best friend. Him and Jafar, those two snakes, they mean the world to me. They were literally my guys, my dudes. I miss him so much. He's only been gone a week, and even though I'm feeling a lot better and I'm grieving a lot better, besides me crying when I'm talking about the day he passed, that's my dude. That's my guy. I miss him. And people are like, well, time to get another boa. I'm like, nah, Nah, you can't replace him. Jimmy was a snake all on his own. His personality was just different. Just different. He wasn't your typical boa constrictor. And I can't see myself loving another boa constrictor the way I love that one. I don't know. He was a good dude. He was a dope ass snake, an amazing pet. And now every video on my YouTube channel featuring him just hits different, including the last one that we recorded last month for the pet tag. By the way, eventually I will continue that series. I needed to take a break. Grief is hard. A few months ago, I lost Soren to kidney failure. Grief is fucking hard. Whether it's a pet, a human, grieving the loss of a job, grieving the loss of friends, it don't matter. Grief is hard as fuck. And it's so unpredictable. I've had pets my whole life. Grew up on a farm with my grandparents. The house that we're in now, me and my parents are in now. And I've had goats, I've had pigs, I've had bunnies, I've had all types of pets, dogs. And one thing my granddaddy, as militant as he was, he always told me, don't get attached, especially the goats. Because those goats was his hustle. He was selling them goats and stuff like that. So whenever they got some new babies and stuff, he was like, don't get attached. I'm only keeping one out of this group of babies and the rest are going to be sold. And so, but it's still, that's never been my personality. I don't know how to not get attached. Same with these reptiles. I don't know how to not get attached. Even the breeders, the ones that I bought strictly for breeding, I mean, they're all my pets. I don't see them any different from my pet snakes, except for, yeah, you get to breed and I'm going to sell your babies off to other pet keepers. But other than that, I still see them the same. Soren, I didn't even have that long. I knew him for a year because I got him from my other mentor, Nikki. But I didn't have him long. Like, I've only had him for like 6 months. And I still grieve him as if I've had him as a hatchling. It's weird. I just got a big heart. I just love these fucking animals. Snakes are my favorite animals in the world. Like, hands down. It doesn't even matter the species. It doesn't even matter whether it's a colubrid, a python, a boa, a venomous. It does not matter. I just fucking love snakes. They get a bad rap. They're so misunderstood, but they're so smart and so amazing. And they have feelings. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. If a snake can feel fear, they can feel other emotions. Fuck you mean. Sorry for all this cussing. I'm just going on a rant and a tangent now. I miss them. I miss Soren. I miss Jimmy. R.I.P. to them. And I don't know. I'm still contemplating. I don't know if I'm going to continue breeding as part of my business, because if I get this emotional over these snakes, and we all know when you breed animals, you're going to have to deal with death. You know, some babies aren't going to hatch. Some babies aren't going to make it. Some mom snakes die being egg bound, you know, before they even give birth or right after they give birth. And I don't know if I can handle that much heartbreak year after year, season after season. I don't think I could do this. So I think I'm gonna pivot or just not breed at all and go back to just being a pet keeper / educator / reptile photographer, because I don't think my heart can take this much heartbreak. Some people are trying to talk me out of it. Like, no, you've come this far. You've invested this much, yada, yada, yada. But it'll get better. I don't know. I don't think my heart can take it. I don't. Just thinking of the females that I want to breed or have bred. If I lose them, if they die trying to give birth because I want them to have babies, I would not forgive myself. And I know it's the circle of life. It happens in the wild. You know, snakes give birth, they live, they hunt, they breed, they die. I know it's part of life, but I don't like playing God. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I don't like it. It sucks. I do not envy the universe or God up in here. I don't envy them, because this whole create something and lose their creation. I know I'm talking deep and philosophical, but that shit sucks. I don't get how people breed mammals like dogs and cats and horses and stuff. I don't get how my grandfather was military. He fought in Vietnam. He has seen so much death that he is beyond desensitized. R.I.P. to my grandfather. He's the GOAT. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. I'm recording this on Veterans Day. I love my grandfather. I always tell people he was my very first hero, but I don't see how he could be so strong. Because he loved animals too, but he could I can't say the word. He can compartmentalize. You know, this animal is a pet. This animal is for food. This animal is for feeding. He could turn that switch off in his brain. Again, it's probably because of military, but I'm too soft. I'm too soft and too much of a wuss. I can't. I just, It's tough. Not even being a breeder, just caring for anything other than yourself, especially animals. Caring and taking care of, feeding, taking to the vet, all that jazz. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. It's not for the faint of heart. Anywho, this video has gone long enough. Rest in peace, Jimmy. I miss you every day. I'm happy you're at peace, and I'm happy you got to live a wonderful, beautiful 16 years, and that you didn't die when you could have died many years ago at your first owners. I'm so grateful that Kathy and Chris saved you when they did, and I'm so happy and grateful that they thought of me when they decided to find you a forever home to live out the rest of your days. It's been a fun 6 years, Jimmy. It's been a fun 6 years. Not only for Creative Reptiles as a business, but for us as pet owner and pet keeper and pet. We bonded in a way that I don't think people will ever understand. A human can bond with a snake, and you're the best. You're the best. I love you. I miss you. There will never be any snake that could ever replace you. Let me stop. Anyways, I'm your host, Prince Elias. This has been SnakePrinceVlogs. I'll check y'all in the next vlog. I love y'all. Peace.
Slithers into the jungle, call it python con. Bold constriction, got them wrapped, they entwine. Educational bites, better sharpen your mind. Lens focus tight, capture moments in time. The scales gleaming under lights, they exotic and rare. From the terrarium to the street, they straight up flare. Knowledge getting deeper, just like they lair. Snap a pic, hit the click, ain't no need to beware. Creative reptiles where the knowledge flows. Ball pythons in the cut, ready to pose. Bold constrictors lurking, everybody knows. Education means cool and every friend he exposed. Brazilian kingdom, every episode a trip. Handling with care, never gonna slip. Shedding light on myths, let that truth drip. Reptile wisdom, come and get a grip. Glittery slides, it's cinematic vibes. Photogenic serpents taking over lives. Let's